We're in August, and what that means for those of us growing it is it's guava season. Guava is one of the easiest subtropicals to grow in our climate. It just needs consistent watering, and you're going to get more fruit than you know what to do with once it reaches that 3-year mark. If you have access to an Asian market, a lot of times they will have guava out there. Definitely recommend you try the fruit before growing it. Guava is absolutely delicious fruit. Love both the pink and white varieties, but some people just don't care for it, so recommend you try it out. Some of these guavas inevitably have fallen. We've gotten winds. It's not going to take much to knock these off. So for the ones that get spoiled, I tend to just throw them under the tree, cover them under mulch, and that way they'll just compost in place and go back to the tree. Of course, you can harvest it fresh, give it away to neighbors, co-workers. If you want to preserve that harvest, you can also cut these in half, stick them in freezer bags, and they'll store for about a year. So if you do go with freezing your guavas, just note that with pink guavas, I found they degrade a little bit over time. The white ones tend to retain their flavor and texture a lot better, and what I do with those is just take a couple out of the bag at a time and throw them into smoothies. You definitely want to keep the seeds. That's one of the best part of the guavas. That's what gives its flavor. So don't toss those out. Just cut those guavas in half and stick them in a freezer bag. Let's cut this open so you can see the inside. I find pink guavas to be one of the best to eat fresh out of hand. You can see that there are seeds, but they are small and very soft. The soft seeds makes this really pleasant to eat out of hand. It does not hurt your teeth. And there's nothing wrong with ingesting the seeds. They're not toxic whatsoever. So definitely ate a fair amount of guavas this year, but also so that I actually have a preserve of them for a year going out, I went ahead and made a jelly, a guava jelly out of this. Link the video that I followed up in the right hand corner, so you can click on that if you want to check that out. Right, so I followed that recipe pretty much exactly, except for the very end I added a teaspoon of pectin in, and that just helped firm up the jelly so that it's not so watery. Alright, so here's another guava tree that I've got growing, and it's been in ground for 6 years now, so quite mature. Most of the fruit on this is now done, but I just want to show you what the white guava looks like. Fruit's going to come off really easy when it's ripe. You can see it's smaller. As you noticed me cutting through, there was definitely resistance because in general white guavas are going to have a hard seed at the middle. The center here with the seeds actually gives off a banana flavor, and the outer area here, the outer flesh, to me tastes like vanilla and pear. It's a really delicious guava. There are some white guavas that don't have as many seeds, or the seeds are softer. This particular white variety I'm growing just tends to have really hard seeds, so I don't recommend, eating it fresh out of hand for that reason, because you could chip a tooth. But like I mentioned, freezing these, fantastic way to go. Alright, so now we're looking at another tropical pink variety. This cultivar is called Pink Barbie. Still get a really good amount of fruit set on this. Just happens to be a more compact tree because I got this just right off a wall here. And you can see the fruit's a little bit different shape. Has more of a pear shape to it. A little bit lighter. Definitely see the soft seeds at the middle again. Another guava. This one you're really not going to have to worry about preserving. It stays small. This is a variegated guava called Honeymoon. Kind of a rare variety. You can see the fruit's fairly small on this. The Variegated Guava. I'll cut through that. So again, fairly small seeds. It does seem like the seeds occupy a little bit more of that fruit than some other varieties. Alright, here's another big tropical pink guava. This variety really likes to grow more vertical. It's quite a substantial shade tree. Very productive. Variety is called to call. Let's grab one of the fruits here. Very few seeds on this variety. However, the seeds are slightly harder than some of the other pink varieties. Certainly a good one to put in the backyard. If you want my opinion, it would be just pick up a generic tropical pink guava at Lowe's. I think you'll be really happy with it. It's going to produce tons of fruit for you. Very low investment up front, you know, readily available. If you're a plant collector and you just want to collect every variety, you can of course go for it. But in general, I find these fruit to be pretty similar in taste. Of course, each variety has a little bit different shape, different softness on the seeds, or even how many seeds it has in there. And then of course the taste has slightly different nuances. But in general, a pink guava is a pink guava. It's not going to taste tremendously different from one variety to the next. So this tree I picked up at a nursery. It was supposed to be a grafted Costa Rican red pear guava. Never cared for the fruit that guava variety produced. And then just out of sheer luck, branches started growing out from below the graft point from the rootstock, and I discovered a really nice guava. This is a white guava that's different than the others that I've seen. You can see practically no seeds in it, and the seeds that it does have are super soft. So I'm not sure what variety this is. It's possible it's a Mexican cream. It tastes really similar to that. It is super creamy. So certainly far more pleasant to eat this type of guava fresh out of hand. And then of course you have the option to freeze these as well. They'll do really well in smoothies.